How exciting. You've probably received your SEINT order by now. If not, don't worry. Our shipping is super freaky fast, so I'm sure it's on its way to you. But I want to walk you through what to do. You've opened up your package and you have no clue what to do. I'm going to show you how to set up your palette. I'm going to show you a quick application technique, my favorite tips and tricks to get you started. Okay, so let's get started. When you receive your tins, they come in this cute little packaging, and you're just going to pop it out of the tin, and you've got your beautiful palette. I've already put everything else in here, and you're just going to pop it and slide it right out of the tin and pop it right into your palette. All right, so that is first things first. Really isn't a wrong or a right way to set up your palette, but I prefer to put all of my creams on one layer and all of my powders on the other. So these are my eyeshadows, my powder illuminator. This is a brush cleaning tile to clean in between switching your eyeshadows, and the Vanilla Dust setting powder, okay? So again, no right or wrong way, but that's just how I prefer to set it up. Now, make sure you've done your correct skincare routine. Don't skip moisturizer. It is super important. Make sure that, has time to settle in. So wait a couple of minutes for that to sink in. And then let's talk primers. You don't need to use a primer with our cream makeup, but if you are a tried and true primer user, just make sure that it is silicone free. Silicones and cream makeup do not mix. Your makeup will probably just slide right off your face. So let me show you a couple of my favorites. First is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, or either of these two. This is a cheaper version dupe for this one. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I grab for one of these at any time I want to use a primer. I've already used this one today. I've prepped my face already. So let's go ahead and get started on application. Okay, so real quick though, before this palette may look different than the one you have received. We have all kinds of different shapes and sizes of all of our palettes. So just set up your palette however it makes sense to you in whatever size palette that you've gotten, and go from there, okay? So, and same thing with the brushes. You may not have gotten all of the brushes that I'm going to show, but the same application placement and technique is the same, okay? So first, I like to start off with the contour. This is the detail brush, and I like to place this. This is just gonna give us dimension to our face. So we wanna put it in places that we want lifting with our cheekbones. And you guys, a little goes a long way, okay? You do not need to use a ton of product. Whatever you've been using for your makeup in the past, I'm sure you had to use a lot more, so less is more. When I'm dipping in to the palette with my brush, I'm barely picking any up, okay? So we're just using this to create shadows and dimension on the face. It just creates a little shadow under our lip to make it look full and pouty. And then whatever is left, you can drag along your jawline to help sculpt out that jawline even more, okay? Next, we're going to go in and add our brightening highlight. That is this color here. This is Aura. And again, especially under the under eyes, less is more. You can always go back in and add more if needed. And you're gonna do the inner corners of the eye, the outer corners, between the brows and down the bridge of the nose. And blend that out. We're gonna go back in and blend everything at the end, but then you can do here and here, because we want the brightest in the center of our face. We want the attention here. So when you put those brighter colors, that brings forward placement on our face, and the dark shadowy colors bring, make it recede, and we want the brightness in the center. Now we're gonna go in with our main highlight shade. So we call them highlights. I know that can be a little confusing. This is our main highlight, AKA your foundation shade. This is your brightening highlight, AKA your concealer. We have contour, which we've already put on, bronzer, your cream illuminator, your lip and cheek color. It's a 2-for-1. And then again, all of your powder products on the bottom. Okay, so we're gonna go into the main highlight shade, your foundation shade, and we're just gonna go in and fill any areas that we have not already placed product already, okay? So we're gonna go in, this is the 3D brush. I prescribe this brush for a lot of people, especially starting out. It's such a versatile tool that you can use just this one if you'd like for your whole face. So we're gonna go in and I'm just gonna dab this everywhere that we do not have product. And then we're gonna start blending this all out. You might not have received every single one of these products, and that's fine. Just use the products that you have in your palette and go from there. And as always, you can reach out to me if you have any questions, okay? So let's go ahead and blend all of this out. For more mature skin, I like to use this bounce, stipple, pounce motion to really push it into the skin. And it really becomes this beautiful second-like skin, texture on your skin, which is beautiful. Depending on your preference of coverage, depends on which brush that I have suggested for you. So this brush will give perfect medium coverage on your skin. And as you can see, it already gives such a beautiful radiance to the skin, which we love. If you have any redness around your nose, make sure you're covering that as well. Don't forget to blend out that contour along your jawline. And then you can go back in with the small end of the detail brush to blend out that nose contour. The key to this makeup really is putting it all in all those spots so that we just blend out a multi-dimensional 1-layer makeup foundation, okay? So you don't need to do a whole layer of foundation, a whole layer of concealer, bronzer, contour. This is just making one beautiful skin-like layer on your skin, okay? Then we want to go in and blend under our eyes. Do you see how a little goes a long way, and you do not need a ton, especially under your eyes? Because that is our thinnest, most fragile skin on our face. So it can, we make movements and expressions all through the day. So we do not want heaviness under there where it has the chance to cake and crease and do all that no fun words, okay? So we're just blending that all out. If you need a little bit more coverage in certain areas, you can absolutely add more. Or if you feel like you are a little heavy-handed, you could just keep going and blending it out. It is such a dream to use cream makeup because you really can't mess it up. I promise you, you really can't mess it up. Just keep blending until it works, okay? Then I'm gonna go in with the blush and bronzer brush. I'm gonna take the big fluffy end into the cream bronzer, and I like to just tap it all the way around in there. Again, you can see I'm barely picking up any product, and we're going to go and add this anywhere the sun would naturally hit our skin. So the top of our foreheads, this just gives such a beautiful sun-kissed glow to the tops of the cheekbones, and it marries so well into that contour, and that helps blend all that out together as well. Make sure you're blending into your hairline as well, so you don't have that white ring around the perimeter of your face. Make sure it's blended up and into the hairline, okay? Bronzer's my favorite Favorite. If you're not a bronzer girl, skip this step, but I just love it. I just think it brings life to your face and a sun-kissed glow. Okay, so tops of the cheekbones, tops of the forehead. I like to add, because when we get out in the sun, the nose gets a little color and the chin gets a little color as well. Okay, then we're gonna flip over and use the small end of the blush and bronzer brush into your lip and cheek shade. You may not have this exact same color, but whatever we have suggested and prescribed for you, go ahead and apply that to the tops of your cheekbone. You guys, cream blush, woo! Cream blush is where it's at. It's so gorgeous. And look at the radiance in that makeup. It's so beautiful. Now, the makeup itself already has such a beautiful radiance to it, but if you have received a illuminator, this is our cream illuminator called Rose Gold, excuse me, and you add that right to the tops of your cheekbones, and it just adds an extra little glow from within. Tip of your nose and down the bridge of your nose, and your Cupid's bow. Okay, and then you can go in and add your lipstick. I love this. This shade is Nude. She's like the perfect universal shade. I love her. Okay, now the next step would be setting it. You do not have to set this makeup. As you can see, you are good to go. But I wanted to show a couple steps because we do have a couple options. If you are more on the drier side, you may want to go in with our Stay Setting Spray, and you could just spray it right on your face. That will set the makeup, add an extra like radiance glow to your skin. You can also use, I always recommend this if you are especially over 30, over 40, to use our damp perfector sponge. And what you can do is spray it right onto the sponge and just go and very lightly tap that all over your makeup. It's going to pick up any excess makeup that is just sitting on top of the skin that we do not need. So it literally is going to be melting this into a one beautiful second like skin layer with our skin. And because you've sprayed it with the setting spray, it's actually setting it at the same time, okay? This is just absolutely a must. Okay, I'm looking that I do not like that. I want a little bit more coverage there. Not a problem. You could just go in back to that main highlight shade just with your finger and tap wherever you need a little extra coverage. I have some stubborn age spots that I like to put a little extra coverage. So anywhere you have a little extra friend that we don't want, you can always go and add more coverage. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so if you are on the opposite end of the spectrum and you are more on the oily side, then we have our Vanilla Dust setting powder here, and most likely I have prescribed the powder brush as well. So you can go in now, after you've tapped off all of that excess, go in just to the spots that you feel like you need some extra staying power. So if you need it under your eyes, I like to flip it around the more flat end to do the rest of my face. So in between the eyes, I get a little extra shiny around my nose and the chin. This is a beautiful, you can absolutely use both too, the setting spray and the setting powder. And what I love about this powder is, as you can see, I've not lost any radiance to this makeup. It just lets that radiance still shine through, but setting it in place, okay? So again, you can use our setting spray or the setting powder, depends on the preference, but that is why in the color match form, I try to learn a little bit more about your skin so I can help prescribe the best products for you. And if you didn't get those in your initial order, you can always add those at a later date to kind of complete your makeup system, okay? So that is it. That is my favorite tips and tricks for this makeup to get you started. I had already done my eyes from the same palette on the bottom layer earlier because I just wanted to focus on the quick application of the face. But as always, if you love this product, and I hope that you do, I would love to come in and host a virtual online party or in-person party if we live local to each other. And you invite your friends, you share why you love the product, and I do the rest, and we can earn you some free makeup, up to $500 worth of free makeup. That is genius. And I'd love to come in and do that for you. So if you end up loving your makeup, reach out to me. We can look at some dates to book that out. As always though, I hope you love this makeup as much as I do. I am always happy to help. So please don't hesitate to reach out. You are never bothering me. There are no dumb questions. I'm here for you through this whole process to be your beauty concierge and answer any questions that you may have. So I'm so excited you got your new product and I can't wait to see it. Send me a selfie. I'd love to see. Mwah.